Sorry, this is not files. This is. So we had discussed about all different methods of files in the last class. I mean, regular files like how to open file, how to read, how to write, how to append. All that we had discussed in the last uh, 1 or 2 sessions. Okay, today what we do is we talk about another important thing about files itself, but the topic will be on this one. Working with CSV files, we'll discuss that. Okay. So this is all discussed. I think we don't need to wait here. We had discussed all this about a read line. This is discussed. Okay. So we are good with that. These are few file attributes. I don't think this is really something difficult to understand. To check what is the file name, file mode, and if it is readable or writable, if it is closed or not. To check something on files. These attributes are very useful for us. We'll test this little later. But now immediately we don't need to focus on them. And then reading a file and writing into a list. Okay. So this is fine, no problem. We can do this, but where is it? Okay, we'll start here. The other concept, which is nothing but handling CSV files. How to see this is we are not using data frames here. See, there is one more thing I would like to tell to you, friends. See, one way of working with files is this. What is this? Using all these file operations. This is exclusive file handling, what we are doing. But if you want to play with this Excels, this CSV, all this, more than this file handling or these methods, data frames is the best choice in in Python. For that, there are well built-in libraries called pandas, okay, and NumPy, and using that we can create data frames and we can play with files without any difficulty. Anyhow, I'll show you that few examples. Only thing is I told you, right? So if you have that time and patience to keep traveling, this is so we are going to discuss that as well at the end of our Python sessions. But this is also understanding this approach also is good. But for CSV files, for Excel files, for these kind of files, more than this file handling, data frames or pandas using pandas libraries, working with data frames is the best choice. That's what generally I do whenever we need to quickly work with CSV files or Excel files. I hope you are clear on this, friends. So that is the quick idea, but understanding this approach is also, there is nothing wrong with this approach, but a quick heads up to us is, what is it, friends? Try to use pandas for playing with CSV or Excel sheets more than this regular kind of file handling. Okay. Okay. Coming to this regular file handling. So today's session will focus on handling CSV files. So what is a CSV here? That's what we need to understand. CSV means all of us know, right? It's more like Excel sheets, comma separated value files, I believe. That's what CSV means. And to deal with this CSV files, there is a module called CSV. So we need to import that module CSV and using that module. In that module, these are the two methods which are used to play with the CSV files. To read something data from CSV files, we have CSV reader. To write something to a CSV file, we have writer. And we use these two files to read and write something from a CSV. Similarly, if you want to write something, even these methods are also useful. If you want to read data in the form of dictionaries, at key value base, we use CSV dict reader. And if you want to write something in the form of key values to your file, then we can use CSV dict writer. And these four methods are very important if you are playing with these CSV files. Of course, we do discuss about handling Excels as well, but this is a quick idea. I hope you are clear with that, right? So hope you understood these four methods here. Just a minute, friends. 1 minute. Yeah, now I think I should be fine. Okay, let's continue, friends. Again, let me check one more time if we are recording. Yeah, we are doing recording. No problem. Fine. So these are four different methods which are used to handle the CSV files. Okay, I hope you are clear. Normal reader and normal writer, and dict reader and dict writer. Right. So difference is dict reader, as we already know about collections we had discussed. This is used to read something in the form of dictionaries, and this is something which is used to write something in the form of dictionaries to a CSV. But anyhow, when we see some examples, it would be easy for us to understand all this. We don't have any problem with that. Okay. So let's create a simple CSV file. This is the data set. Okay. Right. We have this data set, simple data set. Maybe if you want, you can parallelly try with me. I'm just sharing this data set with you. So I'm giving you in the chart box. Right. So this has some employee number, name, salary, gender, and department number. What you do is just copy this blindly. So just copy, open a notepad. So you don't need to do anything. Simply open notepad. I think somehow. So what you do is take a new notepad, paste that data in that new notepad. You don't need to do anything. Copy and paste it. And if any unnecessary spaces are there, just remove it and then save it. While saving, choose all files. Don't choose .txt. Choose all files and then simply say employee.csv. You can choose add an extension .csv to this. Directly, you can save it as CSV, no problem. And I'm saving in this path, E drive Python free sessions folder, and then I'm saving it. Just do like that. Even you can do the same. Now you can, if you go and check that path E Python free sessions, you can see a CSV file is created here. You can see here what is created here, friends. You can see something like a CSV file created here. Is this clear to you now? You can see here. This is not regular file, but this is a comma separated file. You can see comma separated value file. And if you open it, you can see your CSV file look like this. You can see. I'm just opening file. You can observe. This is your data. This is our data set, which we tried to write from which we tried to save here. So data set is ready now. So you can start doing file processing. We have a simple CSV file. Small or big, the way we operate is same, but the approach is same, but might be logic changes, depends on need and necessity. That's all, friends. Okay. So this is the idea, friends. I hope you are clear with this. Hope you understand, right? Hope I believe you are clear till this. Right. Next one. So we created CSV files and we understood what methods to handle CSV files, which module we should use, what methods are available. So there are two different sets of methods, regular reader and writer, dict reader and writer. So that we understood and we created a CSV file. Now let's start playing with CSV file. And now this is a simple way of reading the CSV. Let's do that. And we are using another way of importing files. So one thing is directly using open this thing. I'll show you this actually. So now we already have a CSV file. Now go to your this thing. What you do is choose Python. What's it? Python project, choose that Python project, and then what do we do now? File handling. Okay, expand file handling, right click on this new, create a new Python file, CSV handling. Okay. Now, what shall we do now? File is ready. We know that very well. This is our file. It is there in uh, where this is available. It is there in the E drive, Python freeze. This is the path where this file is located. So what we do right now, we try to import. First thing, a very important thing is if you want to play with CSV, right? The important thing you should do is you should import CSV first. That is it. That is important. If this library doesn't exist, by default, the CSV is available with Python installation. If it is not available, you can just simply import it, or you can install this. So it's not a big problem with PyCharm. You know very well. We had already discussed how to install libraries if they don't exist. So this is discussed earlier. Even you can try that again. Okay. And if you have any issues, just ask me. Okay. So that is one thing, right? Next one. Right. Next one after that is opening CSV. We already know how to open a CSV. Some CSV file, a pointer or a reference, and then you can say open, and you can choose that. We can do this, but actually there are two types of opening files in Python. So this is with import is one more kind of open. So and another one is regular. Sorry, not with import, with open. I think my statement, slight correction to my statement. With open is one kind of opening a file, and opening direct open is one approach. You can choose any of these two approaches, whichever you think which fits your requirement. But for me, anything is fine. Now we'll work with this. With import, everything has to be inside this. There will be indentation. Like with normal open, you don't have that problem. But here you must and should make sure all your statements are indented inside this open method. Okay, at least a tab space is needed, not tab. At least one space is needed as a part of indentation. But you can try this. There is nothing wrong learning different approaches. Okay, fine. So what we should do now? We should open a file. You can do it in two ways. I'll just show you regular way, which we are already familiar. So what we do is copy the path of this file. Which one is that? Python sessions, and then slash. You choose employee.csv. We don't need .txt file, and then you can pass it here. Add one double slash here, and here also add one double slash. So we have open file, comma. You have to choose a mode here. Which mode you want? We are doing a read mode. We are not writing anything. Already data is there in this file. So what we are trying to do? We are trying to read data from this employee data set or employee.csv file. Okay. So that's it, friends. So open file and then try to read it. So this is one way of opening file. The same thing we can slowly slightly change this opening. So first thing, provide an alias for this. What is the same thing? Open this file employee CSV as CSV file, okay, or EMP file, anything is fine, okay, whichever is best fit. EMP, okay, EMP file. And here, before this at the start, you should say with open. This is another kind of opening file with open, and the other one is regular open. You might ask a question: what is difference between normal open and with open? So here, if it is normal open, right? When you choose normal approach, this one, I think. So this approach, when you open a file, you must and should close a file. If you don't close, so this is you must and should close a file. That is important. You have to take care of explicitly closing files in this approach. I hope you are clear. What is that you should do? Explicitly take care of closing a file. But in this approach with import, you don't need to close any file. That is automatically closed once the processing of file is done. Once it reaches the end of that file or end of that statements, this file is whichever we are open with import with open, sorry, with open, right? Automatically that file gets closed, friends. So this is one advantage we have with import. Of course, there are many other flags we can use here while working with import with open. Sorry, I think getting import with open. So we have more advantages with open than regular open. Okay, and we use more parameters with open than regular open. So that is the advantage, friends. I hope you are clear. So that's the quick idea. If you are asking me what is the advantage we have with open than regular open, means few advantages is when you open a regular file, you must close it yourself. So that is important. Explicitly close yourself. But in case of with open, you don't, once you open a file, this automatically takes care of closing file, even if you forget to close the file, that is one thing. And also to operate on different types of files like CSV or all this, right? Not only this can be used for any files. This approach can be applied to open any file. And there, this gives you more parameters compared to this regular open. Okay. So that is the idea. Okay. Maybe while we're working, we try to understand more about with open as well. If at all, if I say with import, please ignore. So with open. So when we keep working more, we understand more about it, friends. Okay. So that is the quick idea. So finally, what is the conclusion? Maybe you can quickly try, like, with open versus open, just for a quick idea, so that you also have some clear picture. Let's get to the Stack Overflow. I believe you know, right? This is one of the developers' most popular issue search website, Stack Overflow. Okay, if you don't have idea, just get that simple important point. Okay, friends. So any developer, if they have any issues, the first thing they go and look into, where they go and look is the Stack Overflow. Just remember. And this guy should have given some basic differences. You can see basically using the with just ensures that you don't forget to close the file, making it safer, preventing memory issues. Just that's what we are discussing. You don't need to close files explicitly. Okay, part two. Okay, this is fine. So that is one great advantage we have with open. That's it, friends. Of course, there are few more advantages because we can add more extra parameters with open. Okay, so that's it, friends. So shall I jump to the processing of this? So we opened CSV file. Then what else? What is the next step? What is that we are doing? We are trying to read this CSV. So what you do is so this if you once we open a file, if you want to call any method, then we should use this file pointer. This is acts as a file pointer or file reference. Okay, use emp file this reference, and then you can see I'm following indentation here in within this with open. You must follow indentation. All that statements you are adding should be at least moved one space inside into this with open. Like how we create if blocks are or while blocks are, right, for blocks, we should create a block structure for this with open as well. Okay, so employee file dot, then you can say these are all different methods here. You can choose which one you want to. Sorry, here you should do one thing. You cannot use employee this regular this one. What is that you should do? You should say CSV dot reader, and then to this what you can do. You can pass this file as a reference if I'm not wrong. So let me just see the structure of this. method, you can see it takes this reader takes CSV file, and then what else? These are all delimit. I mean, these are all parameters. If you want to add something else as well, we can add these parameters as well. Okay, so that is the idea. So pass the file pointer to this. Otherwise, how does your CSV reader know that which file it should process? So that's why once we open any file here, uh, then when you are applying CSV reader, what you have to do? We have to pass this file pointer as a value to this reader method. I hope you are clear now. Now what you do? You can assign this whole value to some variable, some data equal to. You can try this data equal to CSV reader. And then if you want, you can print it directly. You don't need to do anything. Just print of print of data and then run this. And what would be the type of this? If you want to know even what would be the data type of data. So this reader, CSV reader reads something from the CSV file and assigns to this variable data. So what would be the type of this? Whether it will be a list or it will be a string or it will be something else. So if you want to know that, what you should do, you can just choose check type of this data and then again print that data again after checking type. Now test. That's all. We are done with the these steps. So opening file, reading data, and then printing data. We don't need one more step with this with open. We don't need to close the file because this will take care of closing file automatically. So that is the advantage we have with open. Okay, what do you do right now? Let's run this code here and see what would be the output. Invalid syntax error. I don't think we have any syntax error. We are giving it perfectly fine. Okay, the syntax error is this. We have to put colon like any other. It's a block, right? When there is a block, we have to end it. We have to declare this with some colon here. Okay, I got it. Okay, let's run this now. Now you can see this is actually a type. This data is type of CSV reader object. You can see here. If you see something like this, like generator object or like iterator object or reader object, and if it is not showing you the data, then that means what you should do in these kind of cases, you have to iterate these objects. So what you should do again to view data. Data is there inside this, no doubt about it. We have data inside this. But what we should do, once we see something like this, you should iterate this data. How do you iterate? Simply just apply our well-known for some what we say some d in data, or you can just use any of this local variable and then print that. What is that? Print of d. Now run this now. So we are iterating it, printing row by row or the whole data in one shot. Let us see that how it is going to print and show us the data. Maybe if you want, you can import the time module just to understand the process step by step. Import time and then save it, and then after every print you want to see the output. If you want to view the output, I mean slowly, not that fast. Okay, just apply time dot sleep of just 2 seconds gap. We want to print this data each row or something with a 2 second gap. Okay, just run this now. So I choose time here. You can see now seems like it's printing row by row. So this is our data set. And if you see here, it's giving us data row by row. So finally, we are able to read all this data from the CSV reader object row by row by using this our iterator. And here, while iterating, you can see that from CSV, each row is written as a list. And all this data is already formatted, like in yesterday's session, if you remember, if you get that whole data as a string, if you remember, we did a lot of processing. What is that? We had applied split on that string and converted that data into the rows. Again on rows, we have applied split on columns, and then we have separated columns. After that, step three, we remove that special characters that are present in this columns. Where and when that special characters are there, we try to remove them. So in that way, we try to follow certain steps to clean up that data and come up with a proper output. But here, when you are using CSV, if you see, most of this is already in place. So most of our efforts are reduced here, and it's making our job simple. If you just try to place your data in a CSV file and read that here, you can see now. Here, just only thing is we can do some processing. Yes, again, if you want to print value, I mean value by value here from list here. If you want to do that, you can add one more iterator inside this file, and then you can print it. That's all. So if you wish, you can do that. If you want to print each value from this existing list, I hope you are clear with that, friends. So this is the simple idea about CSV reader. So how to open CSV, how to read that using CSV reader, and how to check type of that data. So this data finally it's clear, right? Always these checks are really important. Then only we can decide like what operation we should do on this data. So we understood that is a CSV reader object. So that is clear for us. So the idea now is if it is giving like that, we should do some iteration. So to implement that iterator, we can use our very known loop here, that is for loop here, and then just print our data. That's all. So that is the idea, friends. So hope if you wish, you can test this. Even you can also test this here. Is this clear for all of you, friends? Are these steps clear for everyone, friends? Can you please confirm if you are clear with these steps? Can you please answer in the chat box? Okay. So what is that? As per the steps, if you want to understand, open file, CSV file, and use a file pointer so that we can pass it as a value to this method. As we are reading CSV files, use CSV reader method. To handle CSV files, we have already discussed. It has two methods like what is it? CSV reader, CSV writer, or dict reader and dict writer. For now, we are working with these two methods, normal methods. Later on, we'll work with dict reader and writer. Okay. And now choose those methods. We choose CSV reader. To this method, we are passing this pointer or reference as a value so that CSV reader will point to this file, this employee file. Okay, CSV employee.csv file. And we are reading that whole data from that CSV and assigning to a variable here and checking the type of that data and printing that data. This will print whole data when you say like print of data. But after printing, we came to a conclusion that this is giving us a CSV reader object, and we are not able to view data. So as we got a clarity that this is a CSV reader object, we applied iteration because on these kind of objects, always we should do some iteration and then see that data. So what we did, we applied iterator on this and then we tried to print data. So that's all. And it gives us row by row here. And also well formatted data is there in each list here. So this is a simple idea about how to handle CSV files, how to read a CSV file. That is this one. Okay, next one. I hope you are clear with all this, right? Reading CSVs, right? Next one, what we do, let us see, removing spaces. This we can ignore because it's unnecessary. It's a lot of time taking this thing. We can remove it. Now, writing data into a CSV file. So later on, we'll just see all these random things in one shot. Okay. Other things, all this. So writing data into a CSV file. Simple. Writing in sense, you can see now, right? CSV means data look like this. This is the like it is a structured data in the form of rows and columns. You can see it has 6 rows, including header, and it has 5 columns. Even when you are writing some data to a CSV file, you have to arrange data in the form of these rows here and then write that data into the CSV files. So what do you do right now? See here now. So this is the process you need to follow if you want to write some data to CSV file. So what is that we are doing? We are opening an employee file here. Before we write that data, make sure that we arrange your data in the form of like this, in the form of rows like this. Right, you can see here. We have to arrange in the form of list, and each row can be added into that CSV file by using a method write row. And if you want to use this write row, before that, we should first we should get that pointer to this CSV file through writer method. So steps are this simple. What you can do, you can open a CSV file with in write mode, and you can add this new line equal to space means it will enter line by line. That is the meaning of this here. Okay, we'll go one by one so you understand clearly. What is the next approach? So after doing this CSV handling, okay, I'll create one more file here, new Python file, CSV write test. Okay, so we are using this is read test. So maybe we can change this if you want to refactor it, rename CSV. You can see so that it's easy to follow. Create separate file names for each of your, task or each of use cases, friends. Okay, now we can close these two. Unnecessary confusion for us. Okay, so now CSV write test. What you do right now? If you want to write anything, if you want to play with CSVs, important step is first import a CSV file. Okay, step one. Then open CSV file which you want to write. So here create any file that you want to choose. Something like I'm using courses.csv. Okay, I'm using creating courses.csv with open and the full path. Choose this path here. So whichever path you want, you choose that. This should be fine. I'm using same path, keeping into this all my files into this path and then giving a name courses.csv and then opening it in write mode because I want to do some write operation, right? Comma, new line equal to some space. If you don't use that, I'll show you. So this is how once we import CSV, second step is opening a file. And to open, we are using with open. And this is more, this have little bit advanced. We have little benefit over regular open. Okay. So we are using this. So once you open this, then what's that you should do? Give a file pointer as an alias to this file. When you say as means we are providing alias and then you can see course file like this here. And then now are we doing a read operation or write operation? We are writing data to a file. So what is that? Creating and writing data into course.csv. That is what we are doing here. So we open file for that, and then the mode is write mode. Means we are doing write operation now. Excuse me, friends. And then now what we do? We just try to first, if we are doing CSV writer, right? We are using writing something into a CSV file. And if we should do that, we have to call a writer method from CSV. So call csv.writer and pass this file pointer or that reference to this writer method, and this whole writer, this whole statement assigned to some variable here, just some okay. So course pointer equal to, okay, or you can name it as some course reference, anything is fine. So assign this writer to this variable. This name can be anything. It's not like it should be course ref or course pointer or like that. It can be anything. It's user defined. So we are writing something to a file. We use writer for that and then assign to that to the some variable. Now we use this variable further to write each row into this CSV file. Now, first thing here is once we do with this writer thing, like once we call this writer method and then assign it to some variable. Next step is what we have to do. So this step is nothing but calling writer method and passing pointer to it. Okay, that is one thing. Pointer means which is that course file pointer. Or you can say reference. That would be much more here because you might get confused. Pointer is something which is coming from C language or C++. Even these references are implicit pointers, but we don't directly apply that asterisk all that. Okay, course file reference to it and pass. Then after this, what is that you should do? You should start writing. Once that writer is open, write each row into the CSV file. So I'm giving you steps very clearly so that you don't have any problem of confusion or anything, friends. So once we create writer object, we should write each row into a CSV file. How do you do that? That to write each row into a CSV file on this writer reference, this writer method returns a reference, an object. On this object, we should call a method called write row. So here on this, right? Come here. Follow the indentation. That is important. Dot. You can see there are two methods, write row and write rows. Better use write row here. If you want to write all data in one shot, use write rows. But if you want to write row by row, create write row here and create the structure for your courses. What is that? Use a list for that. First of all, construct a list and what columns you should have in courses.csv. Define all that in this first row here or in this list. So usually we have that course ID. What you have? You have course ID and then comma and then course name. You have something like course name and then you can choose your names like this. Okay, course ID, course name, and then price of course, something like this. Okay, you can create few. You can add how many over columns you want. I'm just stopping here, and but make sure this is passed in the form of a list here. So we did that now. We created a list and we passed three different values, three columns. I mean, these are the headers. This is a header with three columns: course ID, course name, course price. Now, similarly, write one or two rows. Add data one by one. Course ID you can give it as directly one. Okay, and maybe if you want, we can directly add it in the form of integers. Let's try that if it works or not. And then course name you can give it as some okay, some Python, and then the price you can choose how much ever you want, some 10,000 or something, right? I don't know if it is 10,000. Just let it be. And one more course, some 20,000. You give this course name as Java here, something like this. So we created a dynamic data here for courses. You can see now. So step one is opening file to write some data into a CSV file. Okay, opening and writing data into a CSV file. So that is one thing. Maybe let's make it more meaningful. Opening and writing data into a CSV file, and then calling writer method and passing this reference to that. Otherwise, we cannot apply this writer on this CSV. This acts as a link between your writer method and a CSV file here. And then we are writing each row into CSV by using a write row method, which is called on this reference object. Okay. And we try to write all these rows. Now we are good. We can run this directly. So once we run in this path, this file should be created, and then these rows should be written to this file here. Okay. By now we don't have anything like courses.csv in this path. We don't have courses.csv. See here, we don't have anything. Now when we run this file should be created and this data should be written to that file. Okay, let's run this now. And we don't need to close this. Maybe if we are looking for that, we don't need to close when we are dealing with open. But indentation, you can see here, this is important. Make sure you are indenting your data under with open. That is very much important. Indenting your code, what I mean is right click. Now run this code, right click, run this. There is a syntax error, of course, same error we are doing colon. So just make sure you put colon for this and then run this now. Right click and then run this. Yeah, for just for a better readability, you can add something like write is done successfully. You can just add that. Already writing is over. But anyhow, if you run again, what happens? The previous data is replaced with new data. That's all. So run it. Now go and check in this place. You can see here. Now you can see courses file is created. Seems like 1 KB it is showing, means data is we have some data in this. Open this and see. Perfect. You can see here. The CSV file is created through our code itself. You can see now. So this is nothing but what is it, friends? Writing data to a file. So now I'm just passing it this code as well. You can test it. Right. That's the idea. Hope you are clear with this now. So what is it? We learned like, sorry, this one is we learned how to read a CSV, how to write a CSV. I hope you are clear, friends. Understood now? So this is a quick idea about read and write operations on CSV files. Now, what else shall we do? This is a simple task. I don't know what I give. Do you want to try this? A simple, this is not for you. Sometime when I did this session. So this is the task of CSV. So what is that? We have to enter how many rows we want. It's more like repetitively asking user to enter data dynamically, I believe. So you can see through input method, we should try to read data, create a dynamic list, and then add data to the list, and then we have to pass it to write row method. So through a looping thing, we should dynamically keep on updating data. That is the task I gave you. I gave earlier. This is the task. Do you want to try this? Right? You can also give a try. If you want to add some dynamic nature to your code, this helps us to improve our coding abilities. That's all. Okay. But for now, this all this kind of mini projects will take up again as a coding sessions. Okay. So for now, we will bypass this because our aim is understanding each of this, like, how to read, how to write these files. We are done with that. I hope you are clear with that as well. Okay. Next one. So we'll come back to these projects again. Definitely, we will spend some time only working on projects, on coding exercises, so that our ability to implement also increases. Okay. So that is the idea about it, friends. Now read EMP dataset and write data into a collection in the form of key and value pairs. So this is the idea. So getting now getting into this, what is it? What we call employee dict reader and dict writer. So now we are jumping into the another discussion. What is it? How to play with the dict writer and dict reader. Let us discuss that. Okay. So now let us see this now. This is dict writer. Dict reader means it will simply uh, we don't. These are all regular methods. This is dict reader. So what is dict reader and dict writer? Dict reader. This is used to read CSV file and display data in the form of key and value pairs. That is dict reader. Dict writer means this is used to store data in the CSV file in the form of key and value pairs. That's all. We know dictionaries, right? When you know dictionary, then you should. We don't have any confusion here. The purpose of dictionary is to store data in the form of key and value pairs. And dict reader is that. Maybe if you see a small example, you get a clear idea. Dict reader reads that data in the form of key and value pairs. Dict reader writes data in the form of key and value pairs. That's all, friends. So that is the idea. Why don't we see a quick example? So what is that? We are now testing dict writer. Create a emp.csv file, open file, extract data, convert each row into key and value pairs, and add it to dictionary. So okay, this is a different thing. We are not. This is directly writing. This is some task I gave to the previous batch. We'll do this again. First, focus on this. Writing data into a CSV file using dict writer. How do you do that? Just import CSV as usual, and then make sure you give some file name and then write mode and new line here. If you don't use new line space, it will add all that in one line. That's all. It won't go by line. So what new line does here after each row, it pushes that cursor to next line so that your data is added as a row by row. So that's why this parameter is added in the with open method. Oh, okay. I hope you should be clear with that. So same thing what we did earlier. We use writer method first to open writer. I mean that writer object, and then we use write row to write something. Here also it's almost same, but with dict reader, sorry, with the dict writer, what we just created a header first, and we pass this header to this dict writer method. Right, you can see there are some special parameters here to add these headers and to add some delimiters here. There are some to add some special characters. So, but anyhow, we'll go step by step and get a clear picture about it. Okay, how to create dict reader and dict writers, how to work with. Sorry. Now let us see how to write something into a CSV file using dict writer. If you want to create data in the form of key value pairs into a dict writer, what we have to do? Simple C import CSV, that is one thing, into a CSV file. Okay. And then open it. This is clear. We don't need to talk about this line, second line. Third line, prepare a header. What columns must be there in your CSV file? If it is employee, employee number, name, salary, gender, and department number, create it. If it is course, create that columns according to course. And if it is something else, create that header according to that something else. Okay, so create header. This is step 2. After opening file, create header with all of your column names. Then step 3, call dict writer method and pass reference of open file, this one, and pass this reference of open file to this dict writer. And there is a parameter field names to this, assign this header, whatever you created here, to this field names. And all these are separated by what, comma. So the delimiter you are mentioning here is comma. So each of these columns are separated with comma. So just pass that as a delimiter. Delimiter means with what character they are separated. Each of these values are separated. And these are separated with comma. Just pass comma. If you are separating with hash, pass hash. If you are separating with some other dollar, you can pass dollar. So that is delimiter. Delimiter means it represents or it tells with what character, special character you are separating these columns. That is the purpose of delimiter. I hope you are clear. So this heading part is done. Once this is created on this pointer. So this dictator returns a pointer object. On that pointer, just call write header. Then automatically this header is written to the file. Now, once we do this part, this is head part, creating so creating this header part. These three lines focus on that particular part. Once that is done, now we have to write our regular data to the file and make sure that these key value pairs, right, dictionary, we have to add each column in the form of key and value pairs, employee number, employee name, employee salary, employee gender, and then department number. So each value you should pass in the form of key and value pairs. You can see this is key, this is value. This is key, this is value. And here one important thing is these keys, whatever you are passing here, should match with this column names in the header. Employee number here should be same as employee number here. Name here should be name as name here. Salary here should be name as salary here. If you, I believe if any slight changes leads to error. So we have to map these columns with these keys here. Means these columns acts as keys here. And these keys must be same as the columns in the header, which you declared here. Values is your choice, but this has to remain same as is, including that, I mean, spelling everything, friends. Any change will lead to error. So this is the idea. I hope you are clear now. So already we had deal with handled dictionaries, all that. Okay. So this doesn't have any issues here for us. So what you do right now? So let's just try to create a program and test this dictator so that so let's see what happens now. After that, we test dict reader again and see how to implement dict reader again. Okay. Somewhere we have dict reader as well. Sure, where we are having that. Okay, let's not waste more on that. Okay, we'll see. Not a big deal. So go to this one, create a new file again, Python file, and name it as a dict writer test. Okay. And now first import CSV first. So what you should do, import CSV. And then step 2 with open. Just directly use some with open, copy it from somewhere. So we are doing write operation, right? So what we do, just use write open file in write mode. And here you can create any file of your choice. You can choose either, let's use another course. Okay. Let's create another course file with the dict writer. We already did with the which one, this regular approach, regular, and we tried adding data to the CSV file. Same thing, let's rewrite with dict writer, that's all. But see, the approach is almost similar, but the change, there is a slight change here. With dict writer, we can thoroughly map data to each column. Here, it's more or less, we don't have a check here. So the difference is we don't have any mapping check. We just pass header and we just pass values, rows, that's all. But we don't know whether we are mapping data to this each column or not. But with dict writer, we have a facility. We can map data here. You can see here, we can add a mapping to the data. Where is it? See, we can first create header and we can make sure that ensure that this header is the columns in the header are perfectly matching with the key here in the dictionary. So we are doing a thorough mapping here, which is not applicable, applied for regular writers here, for regular CSV writer. So in that way, see, dictator is much more sophisticated compared to regular CSV writers. You got it right, friends. But it's up to you which one you want to use to build your CSV files. But a important point is in most of the time in real time, more than writing some data to a file, reading happens most of the time. what happens? Read happens more than write, because more files will be there already in some location. We try to read them and do some processing and create some reports. That's what we do generally in a real environment. I don't say we don't write data to files, but more than writing, most of the time it will be read operations. Just keep in mind, friends. Okay. So fine, no problem. So let's start playing with this. So now what we should do as per dictator, step one is so first prepare a header so that we do first create a header part first. And already this header is here. Let's copy it. Let's not waste much time. We created a header in the form of a list. So you create, pass that here just like this. Hope you are clear with this. Created header now. Now call dict writer to write this data. So how do you call this? Is again step two. So dict reference equal to, okay. Now CSV dot. What is the method you have to call here? You should call somewhere dict writer. Just a minute. Maybe you can see here. D should be uppercase and W should be uppercase. Okay. Dict writer, and then to this pass this this one, this pointer, file pointer, and then comma. What else we should do? Some field names you can see here, FIE field names. Choose this and then assign header to this field names, comma. What is that? If you want, you can add a delimiter and put comma to that delimiter. So this is enough for this, right? Just to create. Maybe there are other options as well, other parameters. If you want, you can play with that as well. That's up to you. But I am just limiting myself to these parameters. Okay, so this is how prepare a header, and to that once we prepare header, call dictator, to that pass your reference, file reference, and then also add this header to this field names and just add a delimiter separated by comma. This is what you should do. Now dictator is ready. What is that you should do now? You should apply dict reference dot write. You should call this method write header, so that what we do now, adding header to the CSV file is completed. Now we can start creating dictionaries, mapping that data to this columns. How do you create dictionaries? So dictref dot, what is the method we should use? Write row, and here open dictionary, and now copy this course ID first one. Okay, comma, add some course to that, colon value, comma, key value pair. So one column is added, comma, again course name. Copy this, right? Put it in double quotes because it's the string type. So comma, again give some colon, sorry, colon, give some course name in double quotes, some Java, and then again comma, slightly changes this courses data because already we have a file with the same name, right? We just modified this file name courses data. Okay, that is fine. Now let's keep adding other one. We have included course ID, course name, and then course price. Okay, we can add price here again. Just use price and then comma colon. Sorry, again something like some 1,000 rupees. That should be fine. Similarly, what you can do, add one more row into the CSV file. This time course ID 2, right? And then course name instead of Java, you can choose some Python, and then course price, you can choose some 2,000. Okay. But over. In this way, you can keep adding right data. I mean, keep adding data to the CSV files. Okay. But this is more of what writing using dictionary writer, dict writer. And here we have a thorough mapping. That is the advantage we have, so that okay, you don't run out of any issues, friends. Okay, so that's it. Now Can we run this? Shall we run this now and see? I hope you are clear with all the steps, right? I believe we covered all the steps here. I don't think we have any special methods to write. Maybe you can just copy this and add it at the end of the code, just for our this thing, okay? For user awareness. So this is a simple idea about writing data using dictwriter into a CSV file and all the steps we need to follow. Okay,
Sir,
let
here writer is a class or like a visit.
dictwriter, it should be a method. Okay, this should be a method, Naveen, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So you can just check it. Okay, you can do one thing in this object. Just right click on this module, and what you can do, there should be something like definition. It will show you actually. Go to implementation or implementation. Let's see. So this is about your csv.py. Okay, Naveen.
yeah.
Can you see?
Okay.
This is our module, and in this you can see dialect. Let's just see if these are classes. What is there here? Yeah, this is a class, Naveen. Dict reader is a class. Okay, dict writer is a class. Yes, these are classes. You can see here now. So, and then what else we have in the CSV? Dict reader, dict writer, writer, reader. There are methods as well, right? You can see regular methods like just a minute. It should have, what are those methods? Normal methods. One more is reader method, writer method. Even that should exist in the CSV module. Let's quickly check it. Okay. These are part of those classes. I'm not seeing those. Maybe what we can do is you can check from here, I believe. Go to type declaration or otherwise implementation. Let's ask for it. You can see here. So this is the CSV. Oh, this is a, when you try to open this, you can see these methods are here. Reader and writer are methods, no doubt. And but dict reader, dictator, whichever is with some upper cases here. So you can see if it starts with uppercase, each word, these are all classes. Naveen, hope you should be clear with that. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, it's clear. And inside the class, I can able to see something like underscore. Underscore starts with what is it?
Inside which class this one? Huh?
Inside that implementation one,
Okay,
implementation class.
let me just show you. Want to know about something? Let me see. What is that? Can you show me where is that?
Yeah, you just go to the top. So initially, yeah, hyphen initially,
These are
yeah,
all.
hyphen.
Yeah. I got it. Generally, these are environment variables. So if you want to construct some dunder variables, what we call. Okay. So we create like this as our special variables. We create like this underscore all underscore. Even if you want to, if you create some, you can see here this init.py. Can you see this now? So this, even this file we create this some kind of built-in things we create it like this. Naveen,
Okay.
do you get that? So
Yeah.
whatever you have here, these are all special variables, or if you want to use for some built-ins or some environment variables, right? So we create those variables like this. I hope you are clear.
Yeah, yeah, it's clear now.
Or else we can just quickly check here. underscore thing here. You can see somewhere else. You can just quickly Google it. No problem. See what is there in that. What is underscore some xxx in Python. And also, I hope they it might have some visibility thing as well. What is it? It talks about visibility as well. Naveen, you
Okay.
can see here. You can see not IPython. Just a minute. You can see here some special semantics with a single underscore. Uh, what is it? Not this one. This seems not clear. Okay, you can check somewhere. Okay. So in Bing, what we do is let's Bing cannot give us great this thing. Let's check it in Google. So this should be clear for us. Yeah. So this talks about visibility. Visibility means like accessibility of that members as well. Naveen. And this generally we implement these kind of things. You can see here the following special forms. These are naming styles, descriptive naming styles here. So if you use single underscore leading single, you can see weak internal use indicator. So and then double underscore means when naming a class attribute invokes name mangling inside foo underscore becomes something. Okay, generally, as per my understanding, what is all this means? This talk about a certain level of access or visibility as well. Naveen, clear?
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Also, you can just go through this somewhere because you bought this point. Anyhow, I'll talk about these underscores in classes and objects.
Okay. Okay.
Single underscore, double underscore, and all that. We'll talk about it. Okay, in class topic, you can see here single leading. You can see here single leading leads to private, right? Double leading leads to strong private. You can you see here now?
Okay. Okay.
And start and end with the double means language defined special name of object or method. You can see here. Got it right.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll give more introspection into these things when we talk about classes and objects. Naveen.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, sir.
Start and end, maybe double score. Okay, double underscore. Language. These are, I believe, this. My understanding is these are some to build some special variables, special methods. We apply this double underscore at the beginning and end. And but when you see you can see double leading. Leading means which comes after, right? Leading means. So that is
Mhm.
a strong private. The meaning of that is if you have only just one, it's a strong private. Generally, Python don't have keywords to demonstrate access modifiers. We represent that accessibility with this kind of underscore or double underscore, something like that. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, sir.
And that too, that private, public and protected, all this comes in classes concept. We don't apply it generally in regular in functional programming. Is that I hope you are clear with that even in Java because you are very much into the Java, right? So where we
Yeah.
apply this restriction usually when we work with classes and objects, not in regular functional programming, right? So
Yeah. Yeah.
so I believe these are all applied there, but trailing and leading underscores are just for building some special objects or special uh, functions. Is that clear?
Yes, it is clear.
So that's the idea, Naveen. Hope
Yeah.
I believe, but maybe we'll come with more detailing. Look, but for now, this should be fine. Okay.
Yes.
But okay, shall we run this now? I think we are talking about it. Then this question came: what is this dictator? Is it a class or a method? But when we go and check in the documentation, it is evident that these are classes, built-in classes in this module CSV.py. Right now, run this now and write success, no problem. Go and check in the this one. We have courses data here. Open this and you can see. We see that CSV file is almost same as the other files, but the way how we are mapping and how we are writing is what changes here. Other than that, all files looks a similar with have a similar structure. But what changes, friends? The difference between this regular CSV writer and a dict CSV writer is what we can have a proper what is that matching, and so that we can avoid certain compilation issues or some runtime issues, some mapping issues. I hope you are clear with all this, friends. Understood now? So this is about dict
So if
writer.
we change the position, if we change the position, we'll also like write it in the same order or
You want to see that? Yeah, let me. You mean position means let me
yeah,
just.
first course name, first course ID, second like that. Like will it be stored in the same instruction order or like uh, based on the
You
header?
you mean like this, right? You are saying
Yeah,
something
yeah.
like course name. You are changing this, right?
Yeah, sure.
The order of passing values. I believe you should get an error because mapping has to happen according to the header, Naveen. So, but
Okay.
let's quickly run it and see what that's nothing problem, right? I believe you should get an error. You can see now. See if we have any compilation, no issues, right? No, I don't think we have any problem. So, did you get error here? Permission denied. You do one thing. This is the issue with this one. What? Close this. This is open, right? Close it now. Because it is open, it's asking, it's already in open. Should I write something? This is a permission issue. Let's write and see now. Let's try to run this now. Write success. Let's get into to the file and see. It's working. Python data order doesn't have any impact here now, Naveen.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
fine, sure.
but see, suppose this is course name, right? I put name one.
Yeah,
So
then that will be the
now run
key
this
is
now.
different.
So you can see now. Okay, this issue is with opening this one. Close it. Now run it again. Now you have an error, value error. What is that? It doesn't have field course name one. This is the matching what we are talking. So we have a proper mapping, and that mapping automatically make sure that whatever column names we pass here, that has to match with the column keys we are passing here. That is it. But order seems like we don't have issue with order. You might add in any order, but still this dictator will arrange it according to this column names. That's what happening here. I hope this is clear, right?
Yeah, sir. Yeah, sir.
So any more questions?
No, sir. It's clear.
So that's the idea about dictator. Thanks for bringing all these questions. Should be useful to other friends as well, right? Thank you, friends. So next one. This is all about writer. So we should quickly check on dict reader. Dict reader is simple. We can apply same almost similar scenario. So this is the simple program for dict reader. Now let us open a employee file. Just quickly apply dict reader and then just iterate it. That's all. Almost same like other reader, not normal reader, regular CSV reader. Okay, it's almost same, but small changes. We should pass this delimiter. It is expecting. You can play with it. What if you don't pass delimiter? You can all do that random checks and see how it is behaving. That's all, friends. So we don't need to worry much about other things. Another program quickly. We'll test it and close this session today. Okay.
Can you show
New.
the, sorry, Manoram, can you show
Yes.
the
Yes.
right rows too?
Sorry. Which one?
Dict,
This.
dict right rows.
Okay.
Now we are using dict row only, right row only, right?
Yes. Yes.
So
Yes.
dict right rows, how we need to do.
With this one. Okay. This one you are saying Santoshi or Sunita.
Sunita.
Okay, Sunita. You can see this one, right? Are you asking about this one?
Yeah,
Or
right rows by using right rows, not right row. Another method is there, right rows.
okay, I got it. I got it. You want to
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, I got it. So you want to add all in one shot. I
Yeah.
got it. Understood now. So yeah, we'll come up with that example. Can we finish this now?
Yeah,
Let's
sure.
finish this and see that example. Okay. So this anyhow, create a new file. We'll finish this and also come up with one more use case for Sunita to check on right rows. So here, dict reader test. Okay. So what you do? Import CSV. You don't need to do anything. We can just write the code quickly. You can just use any of this. What you can do here, you can just use core CSV itself and use read mode. And new line is not needed this time because we are not writing, we are reading. This should be fine. After that, the next thing, reading is simple here. Just some data equal to that CSV dot dict. What is that? Use this dict reader. Okay. And to this pass this course file, delimiter I am not adding just for testing purpose. What if you don't put delimiter? Do you have any problem? That we see. Okay. And then print it. We are done with this. This is what we should, how we should read some data from a CSV file using dict reader here. That's all, friends. I hope you are clear. So this is how we should read something from a CSV file with the dict reader. Dict reader. We already use regular reader from CSV. So print off, we should know what is the type of this data. Is it CSV reader or is it something else like in the previous case? And then can just remove this and then. So next what after this? We can just first let's run this. We are reading data using dict reader and then trying to check type of that data and printing it. Almost this process is same. Let's run it now. Let's see what happens now. So we got dict reader object instead of CSV reader. By default, the difference between CSV reader and dict reader is if you apply CSV reader, it returns CSV reader object. If it is dict reader, it returns dict reader object. That is the difference. See, all this makes sense if you want to have a more introspected analysis. Whatever we are doing gives you a deeper idea about all these differences. Okay, just keep following. Now, what you have to do, apply for some data. I mean, some D in data. You can choose anything for this dummy variable. And then what you can do, print D and then run the program. So we got see this is the output. The difference is if it is normal reader, we get output in the form of list. But if it is dict reader, we are seeing output in the form of dictionaries here. You can see each column is shown in the form of key and value pairs here. I hope you are clear with that. So this is the idea, friends. I hope you got clarity here. Understood now? So this is about how to read some data from what from a file. Are you good with all this CSV handling now? Like how to handle CSV files using regular writer, dict writer. All this is clear, right? Can you please confirm in the chat box if you are okay with all this? I hope we do have good questions coming. So that's good. That gives us more understanding on the content. Okay. So can you please confirm in the chart? Are you good till this? Then we'll see jump to one more use case, which Sunita asked us. Let's try that as well. Write rows is something what Sunita's ask is. Okay, let's see. Write rows underscore demo. We'll create separate file for each use case so that it makes more meaningful. So for right rows, what you can do is which one shall we take? Anything is fine, right? Regular writer, regular writer should be fine. If you want to work with right rows, what you have to do is copy this now and then come here, paste it here. First thing, prepare a list, friends. So my understanding is prepare a nested list with. So I'm just adding all this now. Copy this, paste here. Copy this, paste here, and then copy this. Right rows means we pass group of rows. Instead of one row, we pass multiple rows. That is the meaning of that. And also we should see, remove all this now. We don't need this. CSV writer is fine. And then on this, what we should call course reference dot write rows. Write rows, just add it here and see what is it is accepting here. Iterable object, you can see here. It is accepting rows, right? What is the input value it is accepting? It is accepting some iterable object, nested object. So first thing, prepare your data like this, some courses underscore data equal to. So prepare your data like this in the form of nested list. Okay, list within list, 1, 2, 3. Okay. So we created a. Can you see this now? We created this a nested list, and then you can see all that rows we have added into the list inside list. Okay. Now what you do? Copy this now. We other steps are clear, right? We open file and read in write mode. Change the file name here, courses underscore data, so that we have a different file. We have courses.csv, courses data without hyphen, and one more is courses underscore data.csv. We opened a file, this CSV file, and then call the writer method. This returns some object. And now on that object, we are calling write rows. Write rows accepts group of rows at a time, not like each row at a time, group of rows. Copy this all rows, which we created here in this nested list and pass here. And let's run this now and see how this is going to turn out. Okay. So shall we run this now? Finally, steps are clear, right? I don't think there is any difficulty. What we just did is just preparation of this. We created all rows in one data set, and then this data set list, nested list otherwise, and then open file and then call writer method, and then on top of that again calling write rows. So this passing this whole bunch of rows into this, and now let's run this and see. Write successfully is done. So go to this one. This is our file just created. Open it and see. Perfect. Can you see it, Sunita?
Yes, yes.
Is your question answered?
Yes.
So these are all simple things. We don't have big problem.
Yeah, actually, here it's a small data, but in the real time, there is, I mean, the data will be more, right? We need to make a list like that. No, right?
In real time, generally we don't most in real time, it's more of copying data from one data set to another data set. That generally we do it with coding itself, Sunita. We don't exclusively create data sets like this. See, as you asked me this question, let me give you a clear picture. So how it works in real time is you already have a large data set, assuming if you are working with a large data set. Okay. So in that case, what you have to do is you from existing file, you read something, you filter something from there. And again, all that data you have to add it to another file. Is that clear, Sunita?
Yes, yes, Manoram.
So what we do is in such cases, while filtering, I'll give one scenario which we apply in our regular processing. What we filter all that data from existing file, right, and convert and extract all that data and put it into some dictionaries. What we do, we add it into a dictionary. All that data. Is that clear?
Yes.
So dictionary is something which accepts how much our data we want, because keys has to be unique, but values can be fine, right? So we create a dictionary, and that dictionary we add it to another file. We write it to another files. So that's how everything happens through coding itself. Dynamic approach, not like this static, Sunita. This is a static thing, just showing you how to write group of rows to a file. That's all. But in a real time, we create a kind of list like this, right? Okay. And so this something like, sorry, we create suppose courses data is, we just create some empty list like this, and then what we do is we try to do some logic, and that logic while processing we try to extract data and add it to this list dynamically, not this in this static way. And this course data might have 10 rows, 20 rows, 30 rows, 40 rows, or 100 rows. And all that through programmatically, we try to write to this. I hope this is clear.
Yes, yes.
So that is how it goes, Sunita. If it is a real scenario, this static approach we don't generally follow, Sunita. This is not why we are using this scenario is because we are learning here, and that too, it is in the beginning phase. We are trying to get some idea. Maybe as you asked me this scenario, we'll do one thing in next session, next week. Let us have a use case of at least having a data set of some 100 rows or at least 500 rows of data, and then how to dynamically filter some data from that existing one and write to another file and see how to do all this process. Is that okay?
Yeah, sure.
It will be again a small a mini project kind of thing, but it's fine. It's a learning for everyone.
Thank
I
you,
hope you
Manoram.
are clear. But more than all this, see one quick thing I would like to tell to uh, uh, inform is see, instead of going with this approach, you better use pandas, use data frames, so that data frames is much more sophisticated or advanced to handle these kind of CSVs or Excels, all this. I hope you are clear with this, Sunita.
Yeah, yes, Manoram. Thank you.
Yep. That's all, friends, for today. I hope we almost try to understand all this. Okay. In the next class. Yeah.
Manoram, can you please copy the code in the code?
Sure. This one. You want
Yeah,
this?
yeah.
Okay. Sure. Sure. Yeah. Somebody else is asking something.
Sir, pandas and all is completed or still it's going to cover?
No, no, we didn't do anything with pandas. Maybe I'll come back at the end of this. And in sense, it's there is no ending for these sessions. One thing, but pandas will come after we complete OOP, all this exception handling, all different things, and then we come to the data handling
Yep.
again. Back to data handling again once we close all these things in core and advanced Pythons. Naveen.
Yeah. Okay, sir.
Okay. Right. So, Harish, I think you are okay, right? And anything is needed, friends? Do you need anything or we are good?
Yeah, Manoram, if you have time, actually, I'm getting error in the code, so I didn't understand what I'm getting.
Sure, sure.
If,
Please share me your screen. No problem. Who? I don't. Is it
yeah,
Sunita?
Sunita. Yes, yes, Manoram.
Okay. Let me just share you. Are you able to share your screen? Please try it. Else
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
just.
Yes, Manora.
Still, I am not able to see your screen.
1 minute, I'm sharing. Are you able to see my screen?
Not yet. Now I am able to see. Yeah. Now I can see the screen. I
Yeah,
believe everyone can see your screen. Yeah.
yeah, I'm getting this error, writer, self-writer or something.
Just a minute. So this should be fine. What is the error? It is saying the type error. Delimiter is actually there is a spelling with delimiter if I am not wrong.
Oh, okay. Why?
See type error delimiter, right? So just
Okay.
check with that. That's all.
Yeah.
Now you should be fine, Sunita.
Okay. Thank you, Manora.
Good, good. You are practicing it along with me. I am so happy for
Yeah.
that. Good. Fine, friends. Shall we stop here? We'll catch again next week. Have a
Yeah.
good weekend.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, yeah. Bye.